Welcome. Hope everybody's having a great day. Today, guys, what we're going to talk about, or start to talk about, is some absolute monarchs in Europe from 1500 to 1800. So we're going to kind of dive into, and not go into complete specifics, but we're going to start to dive into five countries in Europe during this time period that their monarchs or their leaders, their rulers, are going to become absolute. And just like the word means absolute, if I said that, you absolutely have to have this assignment done by 10 o'clock on a Tuesday, what that means is you have to. There is no ifs, ands, buts about it. It is what they say or what I say or what you have to do. So an absolute monarch is going to be a leader of a country, a king or queen who doesn't feel they have to answer to anybody, and they kind of go about life, and they do what they want to do. So today, guys, what we're going to talk about is Spain's empire and absolutism. Spain's empire and absolutism. So what we want to learn is, how did Philip II rule Spain with a strong hand during a time of religious and economic instability? And yes, what you hear in the background is the national anthem for Spain. So, setting the stage and talking about how did they get to an absolute ruler in Spain. The main ideas that we want to cover during this section is we want to talk about how monarchs acted to establish absolute power. Monarchs used the divine right theory and similar ideas to justify their power. Parliament and the Puritans in England resisted absolutism. And a limited monarchy was established in England. So those are the four main ideas that we want to talk about in this chapter, talking about absolutism in Europe, is talking about those four different ways that these absolute monarchs came to power. So they acted to establish absolute power, used divine right theory and similar ideas to justify their power. Parliament and the Puritans in England resisted absolutism, and a limited monarchy was also established in England. So we're going to look later, and England's going to be the last one we talk about, but they're going to go through a revolution or a civil war in which they are not going to allow an absolute monarch to really take root in England. And through some of the stuff that they're going to do through the Puritans is actually going to push colonies to be established in the United States or modern United States. Absolutism. So what is absolutism and what does it mean? Absolutism is the belief that monarchs hold supreme power and are responsible only to God. The divine right theory was the idea that a king gets his authority to rule directly from God. Idea that a king gets his authority to rule directly from God. And so what that means is that these rulers, they believe that they were appointed by God. So basically God said, this family or this person or this individual is directly appointed by me to rule over the people. And so they use this as, you can't challenge me because I'm appointed by God. I'm appointed. I'm the supreme being. I'm the most important individual in this country, and I was appointed by God to rule over a country. So in the 1500s, Spain was one of the most powerful nations in Europe. And we don't really look at Spain today as being an absolute power or a main power. But during this time period, Spain was one of the most powerful countries in Europe and in the world because of their sailing fleet and a lot of because of their colonies. You talk about Christopher Columbus and the other explorers, a lot of them came from Portugal or Spain. So Spain was very, very dominant throughout the world. Charles V. You should have heard that name before, Charles V. He was the Holy Roman Emperor at the time during this was going on, and talking about he became the Holy Roman Emperor because of his namesake. And he was part German, he was part Dutch, he was part Spanish. So he was really a well-rounded individual, and he was appointed as the Holy Roman Emperor. The years in which he served as emperor was 1519 to 1556. His achievements is he ruled over Spain, Austria, and the Netherlands as the Holy Roman Emperor. So we're going to kind of take a look real quick on what that